if you're meeting the expectation of that prospect, likelihood you'll make them a client. If you exceed that expectation of that prospect, you're going to make them an ambassador. What do I mean by that? If you show up and to me and you give me my mortgage protection going your way, I might be thankful and I'll be a client. But if you come there and all of a sudden now you're not only addressing that concern, but this concern and that concern, guess what I'm going to go do when you leave?
Now you got a guy.
I got a guy. And oh, by the way, again, you don't have to be the fixer and the know-it-all to all these things, but the quarterback.
You just need to know where to get the help
exactly.
from.
Welcome back to another episode of the Life Insurance Academy podcast. Today we have a special treat for you. We have Mr. Roger Short in the house as always, and we have a very special guest, Mr. Pat Schmidt is in the house. And today we're going to talk about how we can uncover an extra $100,000 or more without you working any type of different job or any other extra days, but by simply asking a few questions and expanding your knowledge. And today, Pat is going to give us a little bit of that secret.
What's going on,
Man, that was a good lead-in.
I
Like
know.
that?
Yeah, how to make an extra $100,000 without doing anything. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I'm interested. That's why I'm here.
Here we go. Here we
I don't
go.
even know if I'm supposed to be in this podcast. I'm just going to be a front
Are we
row
allowed to
listener.
say that you can make an extra $100,000 without doing anything? That's like buying a lottery ticket.
I think Adam can put some stuff down at the bottom, not guaranteed.
Disclosures.
Yeah, disclosures.
All
down
the
there at the bottom.
disclosure language at the
Nail
bottom.
it.
Have you ever heard
Nail
the
it.
saying, it's not always what you know, it's who you know?
That's right.
I know this guy.
And we know him.
Who you know. I'm the
And
who
we
you
know him.
Well, guys, good to be back with you. So thanks for bringing me back. Always good to be down here in Louisville. And man, we're going to talk some annuities and retirement. Hopefully that doesn't turn anybody off.
You just lost the showcase showdown.
I know. So we're going to talk some annuities and retirement, man.
Let me introduce you and build
these
him up a
things.
little bit. So Pat is a VP of Sales and Managing Partner with Impact Legacy Retirement Group. You hail from Columbus, Ohio, former pitcher, right, in the Atlanta Braves organization.
Long time ago.
A lefty?
I was.
Yeah, lefty.
Yeah, well, it's still
you're
left-handed.
He
Well, I eat right-handed, but I throw and hit left-handed.
Listen,
Yeah,
I played golf simulator. We played in a simulator with this guy.
I was there.
And every other shot, he was switch hitting.
It was
I
confusing
was
the heck
so
out of me.
confused.
Well,
I was
the elements of the simulator.
Well,
you know?
here's the benefit.
he needed
He-
28 clubs in his bag.
He never has a bad lie.
It's true. It's true. Or you could say I never have a good life. You see me swing and see me play. It's a
I don't know how
challenge.
you carry all those clubs, but do you are there like 7 clubs or like
No,
lefties
no.
and 7 clubs?
When he
or-
goes golfing, he's one person per golf cart. He uses both golf bags.
Oh, I like
Yeah,
that. See, I
yeah.
hadn't thought about that. It would probably
Yeah,
cost
he
me
never
twice
gets
as
he
much.
never gets
It's not
called
worth
for a penalty because they're in separate bags. That's right. So Pat, man, you obviously got a long history in the retirement space, right? And now you're with Impact Legacy Group, and you're growing and building a retirement division. And you said a word early on, like annuities and retirement. And a lot of our listeners, when they hear the word annuities, they just kind of zone out. They don't know what that
it.
is.
Yeah, don't go away yet.
Yeah.
Don't go away yet.
And this is something that is accessible for you to sell with your life producer's license. You don't need any special license, right, to sell annuities. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, your life and health. Yeah, there's an annuity endorsement.
You don't need a
lot of-
health license. You just need a life producer's
Well,
license.
in most states, it's your life and health coupled
okay.
together license.
Some states require health. I didn't know that.
So for you all that are listening to this podcast, and let's say you specialize in final expense, let's say you specialize in mortgage protection, or maybe you do Medicare Advantage or Medicare supplement policies, this is for you guys. This isn't for the ones that have their Series 6 or 63s or all of those crazy different numbers, or the financial advisors. This is for you all every single day out there in the field knocking, because what this guy is going to tell us and show us is how you all every single day are walking past money and opportunities by simply not asking a couple questions.
Yeah,
Dripping over it,
that's
stepping
right.
over
I
it,
mean-
like they're stepping over the dollars to get to nickels sometimes.
I tell you, it's been a lot of fun. So joining the Impact Legacy Group and firing up the retirement division here at the beginning part of this year, it's been a lot of fun. And we got a national footprint of agents that are out there. They're doing exactly what you're talking about, Zach. They're knocking on doors, they're buying leads. working phones, and they're talking Medicare, they're talking final expenses, they're talking mortgage protection, and what I'm working to teach them is, hey, you can stay in that same lane, but just modify the conversations a little bit here, tweak a little bit there, and there are literally thousands of dollars of opportunity that's there. And I think maybe a good place to start is, when people hear the word annuity, they start to slouch, and that insurance license that's out there. But at its core, an annuity, it's not that complicated. I promise.
You promise?
I promise it's not that. But there are tons. There's a lot out there. And so they can be overwhelming, and people think they got to go out and learn every single one. Don't do that. You'll spend your whole world and time, searching the internet and everything else, and go broke doing it.
So Pat, let's assume I'm a brand new agent. I've been in here for 6 weeks. The only annuity I've ever heard was my granddad's annuity, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know anything going on. Some of them like it, some of them don't like it.
Zach, annuities go back to the Roman Empire. Truly, they do.
Really?
Yeah. So and the old school annuity was, you give your money to the insurance company, and they just start paying you payments. Monthly payments typically, or annual payments, and if you die, the insurance company keeps the remaining of the account, and if you continue to live, they continue to pay.
So it's
you
like
forever.
a permanent annuity, but they keep it when you die.
Correct, and it's the old. That's how pensions were created. I think of your state teacher retirement pensions. Think of the old,
That's
Ford, and those are at their core. Those are annuity programs. Those still exist, but by and large, they're not utilized that much anymore. So when you're out there and you're thinking of annuities, think of a safe place to be able to grow money as a long-term savings vehicle. And there's some incredible advantages to be able to use this asset class, this financial vehicle, to be able to safely grow money, especially during these turbulent market times.
So you mean like an insurance company can kind of act like a bank?
Yeah, absolutely. Funny time to talk about that with some of the bank crisis things that we have going on. But you talk about insurance companies that have billions, if not trillions, of dollars under management that are by and large held to more financial scrutiny than banks are in terms of their cash reserve requirements that they have. But there are annuities out there that look and feel just like certificates of deposit, just like CDs, where money can sit there for a short period of time or extended period of time. Typically, the longer the period, the higher the interest rate. Meaning that if somebody has a 5-year fixed annuity, it's growing at that specific rate each and every year.
So, what is the lengths of times you normally see like in this market? Is it pretty much 10 years is more simple average? Is it 5 years? Is it 15 or longer?
It still comes down to like, what's the goal for that client, right? Are they looking for something that's a little bit more shorter? You can do something that is 2 years or 3 years on the short end, but you can go out to 10 years or more depending on the age of the client, or the state sometimes has some restrictions that are in there. And then you have those fixed rates, but then there's also ways where you can use a stock market index as a way to increase interest.
Okay.
Now, I say that, and most people think stock market and think of like the ebbs and flows and can go backwards. But there's what's called a fixed index annuity that is safe, but it uses that market
Safe.
index.
That word don't exist anymore.
So it can't go backwards, but you could have what's called a floor. You could have a year where you don't make anything, but you would use that as a way to potentially have more gains. And some of those go up, where you can earn double digits in a year's time without taking on any risk. And so it can be a really good complement to an overall plan.
So we got agents that are watching this and they're going like, that's too much for me to learn. I'm out, and they're getting ready to tune out. Right? You're looking in the mirror. You're getting ready to go into your day. You're just listening to this podcast, or you're watching on YouTube. You're getting notifications on your phone, and there's other things that are pressing. You got an appointment coming up. You're getting ready to tune out on this thing right now, and you're getting ready to tune out on 6 figures of easy money.
Yeah. So
now, when I say easy money, I want you to understand you're providing real value to people. You're providing tremendous value. In fact, protecting retirement or income to the same clients that you're already serving. So when Zach said not doing anything different, I mean, we're talking about final expense, right? You got final expense agents now that are referring business to you, and they're actually making money in annuities. Is that what you're telling me?
with slight modifications to their existing sales process. So what I mean by that is, early in the sales process, they sit down. Obviously, the prospective client knows that they're there focused on Medicare or mortgage protection or final expenses. But Mr. and Mrs. Client, I have a sheet here that outlines all the things that we do as a company. And preserving and protecting, big words, preserving, protecting retirement accounts is one thing that we do. Right there might trigger a couple questions, right? And hey, let's circle back to that. I want to focus today's conversations more so on this final expenses. Why I'm here. And I think having a good fact finder, we can print out a couple items for you, but having a really good fact finder in going through and having a conversation about some of the assets that they have, it's important for them as you're creating coverage for that final expenses, that mortgage protection. You need to know a lot of this information anyway, but just maybe engaging a little bit different to find out, hey, the bank savings account, how, are you happy with the interest rates that are on here? You're going to have people that make mention of, oh man, that account that I'm telling you right there, it's lost 10, 12%. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, do you know that there's vehicles out there, there's strategies out there where you don't have to go backwards. It can still have potential to go up. Most people don't know that these tools and strategies exist. Now we're impacting households around the country, informing and educating that these things are out there.
Yeah, I think this is so important because the first few annuities that I've ever written were actually off final expense leads. And a lot of you listeners may be like, well, how in the world do you run a final expense lead that has very low, up to maybe 50,000 household income in rural areas, people that don't have much, they're on Social Security.
Don't appear to have much sometimes.
Don't appear to have much. They're Social Security, their disability. But the key thing is for you as the agent, and even listen to this podcast, to be open-minded of the possibility. And instead of going into the home, before you even knock on the door, before you can call and set the appointment, and predetermining in your mind, I'm selling this family a whole life policy. But actually listening to their needs, listening to their story, listening to what happened in their family, because it's no different than any other family out there. In a couple of areas where you can actually listen and uncover what a family might need would simply be, for one, they're all about that at retirement age, right? They're either retiring from the factory they worked at for 30 years or the car dealership or wherever they were at forever. Now, their retirement now is probably coming out. The 401k is an option to be able to move. But a couple other scenarios you'll run into, some people in this market are fighting for disability. And a lot of times it takes them 2 or 3 attempts or a couple years to actually get approved for disability. And in many cases, they get some sort of back pay for the months from the time they filed or the incident occurred where they're eligible for the disability. Well, now they're going to get a large little lump sum of money and not sure what to do with it.
Yeah, you're right there. So the fact finder will help you establish where those things exist. Is it a former 401k that it's out there? Is it a life insurance proceeds from a loved one that they're about to receive? The opportunities are endless in terms of where, but you hit something. I want to circle back to that. It's the why.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
These are real concerns that people have. The number one concern that retirees have is the fear of running out of money. We're talking about marriages that have conflicts. You're talking about people losing sleep at night, not knowing where the next retirement paycheck, if their Social Security is going to be enough. So we can come alongside them and we can create plans that creates safe, predictable income. We can create strategies that provide safety, security. Man, talk about impacting people. And we're not talking about impacting the 1%. This is the 0 to 99%.
That's right.
These help. These are in the rural areas. These are in the tough areas. And if we're not bringing to life some of these strategies, we're not fixing and addressing some concerns. Number one, man, what a miss we're having on the people that we can be impacting. And oh, by the way, there's a huge financial impact you can have for yourself and for your business by having and uncovering and having these conversations with folks too.
Yeah,
So go ahead.
I say that all the time. And when you look at the markets we serve, even in like the Medicare market, it's oftentimes easier and more impactful to put a policy in place to protect these families because the need is there. They have to have it. They're like, they don't know what they're going to do without having that protection. And that, I'd say, sensitivity to protecting their loved ones is so much higher than somebody that is a part of that 1% that has all this other money. Yeah, they want to protect it. They don't want to run out of money, but they also have this internal confidence and this belief that it's not going to happen to me, which takes away that urgency in that sell. So knowing, why do we serve this market in final expense? Because the need is so high. The need in Medicare, retirement, the age group, their life expectancy is coming to that appropriate age. Like, this is the time where that fear sets in that we need to protect. And that's what makes this a great opportunity, instead of some people having the reverse idea that, oh, well, I would never write an annuity in this market, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of agents also are just like, because they don't know it, when we're uncertain, they don't move forward, so they don't take action. So they just try to stay in their lane.
Right. So like it takes a lot to get the courage, the confidence to not to have the conversations, but there's courage and confidence to all of a sudden transition that into, what's the fix?
Well, Pat, I believe
where do I go with
I believe that a lot of people, they don't even have the conversation because they don't know how to start the conversation. Sometimes an agent is moving into this business. They've not come from a place of financial strength. They're coming in, they may be just now getting into their stride where they're starting to find success. But this is a piece of the business that they're unfamiliar with. A lot of agents who are younger, they don't even know how 401ks work. They don't know how pensions work. I mean, this is still a foreign concept. It's not taught in high school, bro. It's not taught in college, right? And so,
which is the head scratcher. Why this is not taught.
I know. And like the banks are going under this week as we talk, right? Silicon Valley Bank and in financial crisis times, these products are even more important. However, agents, because of uncertainty, they don't take action. So, like, we got people listening right now and say, I don't know anything about that. It sounds like something foreign, and I don't know how to start. And so they don't.
Well,
how do an agent start?
And it's a different sales process than the mortgage protection, the final expense, and then the Medicare. And a tip here is align yourself with somebody that can develop you and coach you. I mean, listen, if I want to be a really good 3-point shooter, if I want to be Steph Curry, I could go out and, on YouTube and watch Steph Curry shoot a bunch of threes. I could read some books. I can go on the internet and read up. But
you could go play basketball with Zach.
I was going to say Chris Paul.
He's got a pretty good. He's got a pretty good shot.
Or I can go do it and play and be around people who know it and develop. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some discipline in terms of learning this part of the business, because it is a little bit complex. I don't want to understate the complexity of it, but if you can uncover those opportunities, and that's what we've been providing, and I say this to our agents that are in the field, it's okay to be the family doctor. This is the day and age where our culture is used to being pointed to a specialist. What I mean by that, I love my family doctor, but if I needed a knee replacement, I'm not going to look to my family doctor for that. I may look to my family doctor for advice.
Or to recommend a good one.
Exactly. And my family doctor said, hey, let's go do some analysis, but I'm going to put you in front of a specialist who knows cardiology, who knows cancer, who knows hip replacement.
That would actually be a little arrogant on his part to think he could do that effectively.
Right.
And even advise you, say, hey, let me do it.
Exactly.
That would be like, if I'm the patient, I'd be like, bro, I don't want you operating on my needs.
But as the field agent who's in there, who maybe people know them as somebody who focuses on this specific line of insurance, it's okay to say, hey, I have a specialist who does this. That tax issue that you're talking about, let me gather some information and let me schedule a 15-minute, 30-minute, 45-minute call with you and one of our retirement advisors who specialize this, who's been doing this for a number of years. And that's what we've been able to create on the impact side. And it's been really, really awesome to see. And so now what happens is now those field agents get to sit in alongside of meetings with our retirement team. They get to learn and be a little bit more engaged. And now it empowers them to be able to go do that on their own in time.
This is so simple. So you're saying a new agent can go out there, they can learn their one line of insurance to start off, build confidence, build trust in their community and their relationships in their warm market. And they can borrow your confidence. You're saying they can go
Or
in,
your authority and
yeah,
expertise.
they can be that family doctor that says, hey, me personally, I don't know, but I have a team, I have a person, I have a guy, I have a support system,
Advisor team.
I have a whole slew of products and history behind me that I can just guide you through and basically hold their hand, and I can be taken care of. I know my family is taken care of. I know my clients that I have my other products with are taken care of. My warm market is taken care of. And all I got to do is basically don't have to know it all, don't have to write it all, don't have to know the ins and outs. What bubbles do I circle on the application to know that I'm not putting them in a worse position? I can literally be the family doctor and refer them to and lean on that confidence.
And that retirement team then will run with the sales process. They'll help with the transfers, because then there's that complexity too. Like, am I going to create some issues trying to move the money from point A to point B?
Mhm.
So now all of those issues are set aside to get the opportunity to. This is me playing basketball with Zach. I get a chance to see from the expert how to shoot the 3-pointer.
I got a question for you. So, like, the new guy is thinking, where's the money coming from? They're broke, right? The agent that's listening to us right now, they're thinking, where's the money at? And we've referenced it and kind of alluded to it, but where's this money coming from? I know you said maybe it's a 401k that's now available that you can work with, or maybe someone in their family that died and left them a death benefit of $50,000 or $100,000, and
sale of a property, somebody crossing over that threshold into retirement, and they have their 401k accounts, the money that they've been putting into that employer plan for a long time.
whether it's $80,000 or $600,000,
doesn't matter,
or $1 million.
Yeah. And our field agents know that, like, hey, we don't have any account minimums here.
Yeah.
We're gonna help that and I'll share this with you too. Some of my best ambassadors are some of the clients with the smallest portfolio,
Apparent net
if you will.
worth. Yeah.
But that's the person who, by helping them, they all of a sudden introduce you to 3, 4, 5, 10 more people through their church or through that organization.
That's such a good point, because people in that market, like, even when you talk about referral business, right? When you're in that demographic of that market, you're the talk of the town. If you help somebody up, they tell all their friends when they're playing cards. But you look at the sweet spot in our market, in Medicare and in final expense, you would say your ideal client is what, Miss Betty at 65 years old, right? Well, her mom's probably 80, 85, right? Well, if they pass away and they have a home and that home's being sold or anything like that, they're receiving some sort of assets from their parents being sold, however small, however big, in addition to them just retiring, having that 401k. Like, it's all around there. But like you said, that happens in everybody's community, and that word of mouth from serving that one client, even if you write a $10,000 annuity, that can spread to so many other annuities in that community.
Well, and I always think there's, if you're meeting the expectation of that prospect, likelihood you'll make them a client. If you exceed that expectation of that prospect, you're going to make them an ambassador. What do I mean by that? If you show up and to me and you give me my mortgage protection going your way, I might be thankful and I'll be a client. But if you come there and all of a sudden now you're not only addressing that concern, but this concern and that concern, guess what I'm going to go do when you leave, man? I'm going to tell.
Now you got a guy.
I'm telling. I got a guy.
Now you got a guy.
You do got a guy.
And oh, by the way, again, you don't have to be the fixer and the know-it-all to all these things, but the quarterback of
You just need to know where to get the help
exactly.
Exactly.
Where to send the help to.
So explain to me, what is the retirement team and what do they do? What do they actually do?
Yeah, so what we're in the process of building out with our retirement team is just an elite group of professionals, all things specialists, from investment folks to tax folks, estate planning folks, that can address all of those complexities that people have in retirement. Our group, we talk collectively about the 4 roadblocks on retirement, and you have taxes, you have market risk, you have long-term care, and investment fees and costs. And so we got a group of people that can come alongside of our agents, fix those problems, and then those agents who make those referrals then receive half or whatever the agreed upon compensation is, the split for that, and they get to learn along the way.
So just being clear, so if I'm a new agent, and let's say I've been doing final expense or mortgage protection for a little bit, and I want to dabble in some annuities, and I don't really want to take the time to learn it all, but I want to just make it available. I can essentially bring you in, or the retirement team into a conversation, come in, assess the situation, get all the necessary illustrations or whatever, and make sure we're together serving the client to the best.
And engaging with the client. Are you talking to the client?
Yep. We're leading we're leading the actual sales process.
So you're leading all of it, and I'm just kind of on the sideline as a supervisor and be like, hey, is everything good?
Yeah.
You're like the doctor doing the knee surgery, and you're going to refer back to the family doctor when it's done.
Yeah.
You know why I love that? Because now, as the agent, I can learn as the agent the process. I can watch it happening. I have confidence knowing that my clients are being taken care of, and at the end of the day, I'm compensated for it anyways.
Yeah. And then when they
And I
get to
can
the
stay in
point
my
where
lane.
they have two options, and that's what we're seeing really quick. We have some that are like, hey, listen, this is great. I'm being compensated. I don't even want to learn this stuff, but I want to receive the revenue from it so I can engage them and make that transition, make that handoff, and then I'm going to go back and focus more on Medicare or insurance sales. But then we have the group of folks who want to learn this and want to make this part of their product offering, and that's fine too. We're going to pour into people and train people. We have weekly trainings through Impact, and not to make this sound like a commercial, but you guys get me going, man. I'm pretty excited about what we're building over here.
I got a tough conversation for you. Okay, let's say I'm one of the 40,000 agents that listens to this weekly. All right,
It's actually 60 now.
60. Sorry, Roger.
We just crossed over, man.
Man,
We just crossed
That's awesome.
over, bro.
now I'm getting nervous. I thought we were like
60,000
I thought they were like-
downloads last month.
I thought it was
man.
like your families that watch
60,000.
this. Nah, I'm
Well,
kidding.
60,000
This is
downloads last
phenomenal,
With
man. This
Pat,
is awesome.
Pat Money on here, it might be 70.
It might.
But let's say I'm one of those agents, okay? And I love the podcast and I'm listening, and I've been in the insurance business for a year and a half. And I love the group I'm with. I'm very loyal, and but there is no retirement team. There is no support there. I'm not looking to recruit. I'm not looking to move, but I would love some help. How can they get help on this as well?
I mean, our number one mission is impacting households, right? If we can impact households, the byproduct of that is we're going to be impacting agents that are out there and growing their businesses and develop them. So, we got a unique offering with our retirement division that it isn't just an offering just to the folks that are, with our impact group. So, we have agents outside of that have availability to be able to use our resources,
So you don't
use
have
our
to be a
same tools.
contracted agent with Impact to use the retirement team services.
Absolutely not.
And they're still going to be
we
compensated.
still do the same compensation shares.
Even
and
if
all
they
that.
have an annuity contract or two, but they just don't really know how to go about it, or they don't have a specialist in their
We would
corner.
invite the conversation and say we would love to be able to assist, be able to help. We would invite them to their weekly trainings. We got some incredible resources and fact finders and things that that we can make public to those folks to be able to utilize to edify those conversations and transition them into real retirement, real fixed index annuity
Sounds like
conversations.
the annuity Avengers over here. I just imagine them like flying in. They're all different superheroes, and exactly.
That's right.
No matter what it is. So you're saying
You're going to get that logo blazing on your chest with a big tattoo.
Yeah. Wife would love that, I'm sure.
So you're saying I can call up Pat Money, and Pat Money can help me assess the situation, help me walk me through the entire sales process, actually take the lead and close it, and I can just kind of watch it, and I don't even have to be an agent with Impact or a contractor.
Well,
with
first, I
Impact.
can't speak for this Pat Money guy, but if you
Well,
call,
I just came up with that. I kinda liked
If you
it.
reach out to Pat Schmidt, I'd be more than happy to.
It's hard to tell whether he likes the moniker Pat Money or not.
help. Yeah,
It just hit. I don't know.
It just hit.
happened.
So even if they have a contract with an annuity somewhere else, that carrier that you recommend, you're still splitting that. They still get their comp and
Yeah, as long
retirement.
as there's contracting and all those things
Yeah.
have to align, but certainly worthy of the conversation.
But they
and
don't
this-
have to have the contract with Impact
correct
as
That's
long as they have the
100%.
company, the carrier,
the carrier
that you write.
contract in place.
Okay,
Absolutely.
cool.
And and so those are things that we welcome. We welcome those folks if they want to participate in our weekly webinars that we have for trainings. All of those things that listen. Like if we continue to impact people and bring these conversations to folks,
That's awesome.
that's what it's all about.
When I first started, if I had someone like you in my corner, because we didn't, I was with a small group and it was final expense only. That's what the focus was, final expense. work 20 to 30 leads a week, sell, 8, 10 policies a week, and do your thing and sell 5 to 8,000 a week. I mean, that was the number.
Well, and I think we all did, right?
I was never asking the question.
Yeah.
I didn't know the questions to ask. I didn't know what an annuity was, didn't know how to even go about doing it. If I just had someone in my corner with a few cheat sheets and a few tips and how to open up a conversation differently than the way I was doing it, I could have helped so many more families, and I could have made a lot more money.
Yeah, and it's,
doing the exact same thing.
It just takes me back to my Vietnam flashbacks when I wrote my first couple of annuities. Pat, dude, I didn't know what I was filling out. Like, I'm going through this application.
Let's hope those people aren't watching right now.
No, it was true, but he was like, "Hey, man, I got 10,000. You got an annuity I can put it in?" I'm like, maybe. I don't know.
He called me up because, "Hey, Roger, can we do an annuity?
We got to put it
company
in
do we
something."
use?"
I think we had one company to write annuities. It just wasn't a thing. And the cool thing is, and I know personally a few people that you have helped write some annuities that have strictly only ever done final expense. From my knowledge, I don't think they've ever even asked or had an annuity conversation. And then just in the short amount of time that you have been working with them, I can't tell you how much collectively they've written already. I know that one team's probably written 7 or 8 annuities in the last, 6-8 weeks. That was never even a thought the previous years they've been in the business, and it's all on final expense.
Well, and what's really cool to see is that they're not going out and buying annuity leads. They're not doing things that are annuity focused.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing the exact same thing they were doing before.
Yes.
They're just tweaking some conversations early in the process.
Asking a couple different questions.
They're not even working an extra day, a different schedule, nothing.
No. They're just now maximizing the time that they're spending with that prospect. And, oh, by the way, providing more protection and coverage for the individuals that they're
I know one agent, Justin, that you've helped. How many annuities has he processed already since he's been uncovering them?
The beginning
just
of the
him,
year.
not his team, but just him.
I want to say he's up to maybe 5, 6 now. And as a group, I believe collectively the firm did, was it 16 million of total annuity production last year, and this year we're pacing closer to 80 million in terms of total annuity production.
And people like Justin, who are out running final expense leads, they're the ones who are adding to those numbers because they're uncovering opportunities that they never even asked about before.
Right. And those are real people's monies, right? Those are real people's dollars that were in something before that wasn't a good fit for them, whether it was market risk, whatever issue it was.
Yeah. Now
it's in a much better and more appropriate and predictable fit for their futures.
But look what that does for those agents and their income.
Oh, it's amazing.
I mean, the commission that a final expense agent, any agent, is able to generate off of selling 4 or 5 annuities, hundreds of $1,000s worth of annuities, and you getting paid what essentially is it an average of 30 days after it issues, something like that?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, I don't mind interrupt you, Zach, but just a lot of people don't even know how commissions work on annuities, and it's a percentage of the total money that goes into that fixed product, that annuity in the first year. So even number purposes, if somebody puts 100,000 in there, those can range. They can be all over the place, but average, I see them normally around 6%. So if it's a 6% commission on 100,000, then that agent's getting $6,000.
And they're essentially getting all of that money. They're not like getting it monthly, right?
Correct.
They're getting it all up front. So you write, $250,000 annuity, you're getting a nice
chunk
of check right now to be able to reinvest in your business.
Calling you for that money.
So
that's crazy.
So the business builders, what they're doing, their goal is, hey, the revenues that I'm generating from the annuity business, I want that to be what runs my marketing, what runs my operations, and then everything else that I generate, man, that's just fun.
I saw Tim Wright, who was on this podcast before. Tim did an episode on the podcast.
Tim,
and I saw
Tim's
him
going to be a killer. Yeah,
I saw him post, and he posted a deposit for $12,000 after that annuity closed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a significant deposit in anyone's paycheck. Like, I don't know if most people at a job ever
it's
get
like
a
one
deposit.
Policy.
That's one policy that he uncovered doing his normal protocol, his normal run-of-the-mill program of working final expense and some general life, and he just started asking a few different questions, got you involved, got the retirement team involved, and then boom, helping families, helping himself.
Yeah.
On his way to an extra six
Yeah,
figures.
And we may have some agents out there that have maybe been doing this for a number of years that have a number of clients in different channels. And there's some cool things you can do to go back to those folks and reintroduce all the things that you do, all the things that you do now.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of uncovered opportunities, even with some of those existing clients. So just, being able to utilize the network that you have out there can be very fruitful.
My question is for any agent listening, if literally if they write one annuity or just one annuity a quarter, and let's just say the average, I don't know what the average size annuity is. Let's say the average, let's say it's anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 in commission each. If you're looking at an extra $40,000, just one a quarter, what can that do to your business?
You do one a month.
Well,
You're going to find one a month.
Exactly.
You're going to find one a month.
You could probably find more than one a month. Honestly.
I know, but I mean that's like shooting low.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's shooting low.
It's crazy, but what can that do to your mindset? The pressure, the anxiety, your family, reinvesting, marketing, recruiting, lead generation, every aspect of your business, because now you're almost viewing that as bonus money because it's not changing your normal revenue generating activities. You're still buying the same type of leads. You're still working the same days. You haven't invested really any more time into the business other than a phone call or two or a Zoom call or,
Didn't cost you anything to add it.
It's literally in addition. And right now, if you worked the same amount of leads, the same way, generating the same return on investment, doing the same type of insurance you've been doing, and you just added an extra $5,000 to $10,000 a month on top, just for asking a couple questions, what could that do to your business?
I thought that was a rhetorical question.
It is. It is.
I mean, just life changing.
Right.
You're talking about life changing, and that's what's really cool to be a part of and seeing. Even in my short journey at Impact, just seeing the impact that this is having on our agents and on their businesses, and seeing where their mind goes to and the vision of what they could do. And this is really exciting. I mean, this is sometimes a little bit of change up and how they go about their sales process also lights a little bit of a fire, and now they're sharing it with some of their other agents that they're connected with. It's been
I know you just helped another agent who's working a slightly different market, but regular lead program, mortgage protection and final expense combination. They just closed how much in the past 2 or 3 weeks?
1.7 last week.
1.7 applications.
Yeah,
million.
1.7. Yeah, 1.7 million. That's 1,700,000 last week. That was through the end of the day Tuesday, and I reached out Wednesday. Man, what are you doing today? Taking the rest of the week off? No, he was out pounding the pavement, knocking on doors, and doing mortgage protection. So I mean,
That's crazy.
looking and now more fired up about, hey, I know a little bit more about this now. But I will say he was patient. His first annuity that he was a part of was all the way back in 2020. And he spent, more than 2 years of learning the craft and bringing in experienced advisors around him and learning and gleaning information from them. It wasn't until this year that he started actually running appointments on his own for the very first time. And he's over $2 million of production, annuity
They're
production.
still able to lean into the retirement division for help and support. Once they were doing everything on their own, they're just receiving a little more of the compensation.
Right.
What are you seeing as far as, let's say I'm getting the hang of this and I'm understanding, wow, like this is really taking off. This is a lot easier than I thought. There's so many more people out there that need this than I ever thought before. Because really, especially in today's time, I feel like this is like the best kept secret is the annuity because of the market and everything that's been changing. What if I only wanted to run like annuity leads, or like what can I do to generate those? Are you seeing different types of seminars, or like what do you?
Yeah,
what can you do?
there's obviously seminars, and we have some pre-built seminars that some of our folks have the ability to be able to utilize. But I give great caution there, and I would say, hey, continue to do what you're doing, because those annuity lead programs, one, can be incredibly expensive. You have a huge financial services industry that is pouring money into those, that continues to drive up the cost. That if your marketing process now is door knocking.
Mhm.
Continue to do that. You're sitting at the kitchen table. You're with folks right there. You're building trust. I would continue to do that process and just look for tweaks in there. I think too
That's
much
good
is
advice.
like, oh, wait a minute. I like this. Now I'm going to take this huge jump. And what happens to the
Your
rest
core
of the
business.
business?
Yeah.
I
And
would-
your leads, because that's where your leads are coming
Yeah.
from. Yeah.
Exactly. I would imagine the competition would be slightly different than a client always getting targeted for annuities versus not getting targeted for annuities and people that you're seeing every day.
I can't tell you how many really high class looking mailers that I get and with invitations to steakhouses for dinner.
I get them all the time.
Like, it's crazy.
You're getting them?
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm getting them,
You're in
right?
the sweet spot, buddy.
I'm getting them.
Yeah.
And so they're showing up. Malone's.
That's
Stony
why
River,
I
you know what
thought
mean?
we were going to talk about your retirement when I was
Yeah.
down here today.
Yeah.
That was the invite. Right? I didn't know I was going
Yeah.
to be on the podcast.
That's
Not quite
us.
ready yet, Pat. Not quite
That's-
ready yet.
So
Well, guys, how do people get a hold of you, Pat? If they say, "Hey, man, I would love to at least learn a little bit more,"
I need to get on one of these webinars.
There's webinars, right?
Yeah.
So how can we get them on one of your webinars?
Yeah, I think maybe the best place to start is, and they're welcome to reach out directly to me. Let me provide my email. It's pat.schmidt, which is SCHMIDT at impactlegacygroup.com. So pat.schmidt at impactlegacygroup.com.
Spell Schmidt again.
SCHMIDT.
Pat.Schmidt at Impact Legacy. You're on LinkedIn also. People can find you
I
there.
am. I think I can't remember if I'm Pat or Patrick.
Patrick.
Patrick Schmidt, not what did you say? But not Pat Money or whatever.
Not Pat
Yeah,
Money.
you won't find Pat Money. Well, there probably is a Pat
We're going
Money.
to
but
hack
not
his
me.
LinkedIn and put
The same.
Patrick Money Schmidt. All right. Well, man, thanks for being here for another episode. I know you're rocking it over there. You got great things, and you can help any agent anywhere. They don't have to be an agent with impact. You can help them. They can make money, and the retirement team is able to step in and help them and help their clients and take their business to another level. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Hope this was a good episode for you. If you got some questions for Pat or you'd like to get connected with him, you can leave messages in the comments. You can connect with us at our social accounts. You know how to reach us. You can reach me at roger@lifeinsuranceacademy.org, and you can connect with Pat, of course, and all the socials and connection points. I'm sure it'll be here somewhere for you to grab. Thanks, man, for being here.
Thanks for having me,
We
guys.
enjoyed
Appreciate it.
We'll see you on the next episode of the Life Insurance Academy podcast.